All right, we are back with garden author Deb Lambert at Corliss Brothers on Route 133 in Ipswich on a gorgeous late August day on Tuesday. And Deb, good morning. What are our plants of the week this week?
Good morning. We have a lot to talk about this morning, as we usually do on any given Tuesday. And we'd like to start off today with the subject of Rose of Sharon. In particular, a dwarf one, a new dwarf one, new to us this year. It's called Little Kim. And Little Kim is a hibiscus, and we can see better by this picture on the picture card here, because the flowers aren't quite open. It's early in the day, but they're beautiful, white with that burgundy center. Very small, and the nice thing about this hibiscus is that it's dwarf. It grows 3 to 4 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide, so it's nice for the smaller scale garden. Your normal hibiscus of Rose of Sharon gets 8, 10, sometimes 12 feet tall. So this is a nice size, again, for the smaller areas, more compact growing. And the fact that the flowers last for about 3 days, each flower, whereas with the standard Rose of Sharon, you get the flowers dropping off after 1 day. So it's a very satisfactory plant, so satisfactory that I've adopted one. Had to have one in my yard, of course, being an inveterate collector of plants, and it's just wonderful. It's performing great. So it's a nice new plant to talk about. People can keep an eye out for them. We have a pretty good selection of them still. And then, for fall, of course, as we go over here, fall would not be complete without talking about ornamental grasses.
Ornamental grasses.
Ornamental grasses, and these are the backbone of the perennial bed. They're nice as edging. You can even use them as screening, because if you're looking for screening during the summertime, they certainly will do that. And as we can see on the maiden grass, or miscanthus up top here, we have these beautiful inflorescences just starting to open up. Almost looks like corn silk. You know, the tassels on the corn. It's kind of pretty. Some of them have a plain green leaf, some have a striped silver leaf, and some, like this particular one, the porcupine grasses or the zebra grasses, have that horizontal gold banding on them, which is really, really pretty. Just something different. It really brightens up a garden. There are dwarf types of grasses. There's the pennisetum. This is one of the dwarfer forms of pennisetum or fountain grass. There are some that get 3 to 4 feet tall, and some that stay quite small, like these. That's about at maturity now. So there are all sorts of them for all situations. And over in the background, we actually see Perovskia blooming. That's wonderful. Mine's still blooming. Perovskia or Russian sage. And it is wonderful. Mine has been blooming for a good month and a half, almost 2 months. And these obviously are still going. So that's a real satisfactory thing. And it looks nice mixed in with the grasses. You carry on that open, airy feeling. So it's a nice accent in the fall garden. These are things that really come into their own with the cooler weather. And things that have been looking good all year and continue to, the rudbeckias, the echinaceas, all of those are great perennials for the mixed border. We have here, not showing color yet, but the tall sedum, the autumn sedums, and they're wonderful. Autumn joy and a number of different hybrids. But they will be coming, they open to a pale pink, and then they go to a rosy red, and they eventually go to almost a bronze color, can be left standing over the winter to give you a little accent in the garden, which is kind of neat. And then as we move over to the next table, we're finding a few more. There's Shasta daisies down there, more Perovskia, the purple fountain grass with the purple heads here. Unfortunately, that particular one is not hardy for us, but a lot of people buy it as an annual. It's just so handsome, and it will look great up until we get several killing for us. It's a pretty plant. So it's worth cultivating, even though it is annual. Then we have another member of the hibiscus family, which is the perennial hibiscus. That dies back to the ground each fall and comes back with these large, sometimes almost dinner plate-sized blooms. And this red is just so handsome. It's a wonderful plant. And it happens to have a nice, finely cut foliage with a burgundy cast to it, which is very pretty. I happen to have one called Copper King, same kind of foliage, but it has a white flower flushed with pink and a red heart. Very pretty. So there's a number of varieties of those that are widely available. And then as we kind of wander on over, we obviously this time of year want to talk about chrysanthemums or garden mums. And those are in good supply here, just starting to pop, just starting to show color. And depending on the varieties you pick, if you pick several different varieties, you may get them blooming anywhere from now right up until frost. Some of the later blooming ones are nice to include as well. But this is the first of the offerings, and as we can see, these are nice, call them cushion mums, because they are so short and compact, and they really add a nice touch of color. Nice enough to use on the stairs. Plant them before the ground freezes up, well before the ground freezes up, and they may very well act as a perennial and come over the winter for you. After the ground freezes, mulch them over with some hay, and they should come back for you and repeat some blooming for you. And we get into the care during the summer, but they need to be cut back during the summertime and fed several times up until middle of July, then you keep that nice compact shape that we're seeing here. That's how the growers do it. And just on our right over here, we also have a nice selection, just starting to come in now, of cabbage and kale, the ornamental varieties. And these with their deep colors, they are shades of reds and pinks and burgundies in with the green. Add a nice accent. They look wonderful in with mums. They're one of the best accents to play off the other colors. Obviously you can coordinate with pinks and reds in the mums and get a really pretty display, or just do some contrasting. The ruffled kale is really pretty. It's very finely ruffled, and as it grows and develops, it'll get a nice creamy variegation to it as well. Very, very handsome. And so there's a whole different group of those down here. But that's some of the offerings, the early offerings for fall. I'm sure as the fall goes on, we'll probably come out here again with the pumpkins and squash and all that.
Can't wait.
It's out here, so we'll have plenty to talk about.
Don't want to rush the end of summer, but I can't wait.
I know, really, huh?
All right, Deb, what else is going on? How do we get a hold of you, and so on?
Lots else going on. One of the things I wanted to talk about briefly was the classes coming up. By the time they read this, we may be even a little more full, but at this point we are starting our classes on the 10th, which is the Saturday after Labor Day, and we're starting off with lawn maintenance. Fall is for planting is the next one, which is planting woody ornamentals and the benefits of fall planting and how that really works so well. Dutch Miracles is our third class, and that's going to be about bulbs, planting our tulips, daffodils, hyacinths, all of those. Color year round, well, I'm going to have to say that one's full. There's one space left, so we'll say that's full at this point. Composting, there's a few spaces left in that one. Then we have pruning and the timing techniques and tools, and that there's only 2 or 3 spaces left in that one, so it's getting pretty slim pickings on the spaces available at this point, so sooner rather than later if they really want to take the classes. Fall feeding and winterizing the landscape is on October 22nd. We end up on the 29th of October with attracting wildlife, and there are more spaces in that one. There's about 8 left, but the others have anywhere from 3 to 6 spaces in them. So
and where and when are the classes?
They are right here at Corliss.
I got when, but I know where.
Yeah, exactly.
At
we have
Corliss?
right at Corliss. We have a big schoolroom set up in the back, and we'll hold up to 24, 25 students. And it looks like we're going to be at full capacity this year, coming in very quickly. If they want to sign up or learn more about the classes, they can just go to GardenAuthor1 at Verizon.net, or simply go to the website, GardenAuthor.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, hit email me, and I can send them the details of the classes, and or they can sign up for the newsletter, which every newsletter has the classes outlined at the beginning too. So lots of information to be had there.
All right, that is garden author Deb Lambert from Corliss Brothers in Ipswich. I'm Rick Moore. This is More Stuff Online.